So I will worship you in all I do. So I live my life to show that I know. You say that I mean so much to you. You love me like a friend and help me through. So I will worship you in all I do. So I live my life to show that I know you're everything to me. You're everything to me. You're everything to me. So I live my life to show that I know you're everything to me.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Family Experience. This month we are talking all about respect. Respect is showing others that they are important by what you say and do.
Our words and actions are such a big deal. God can help us use our words and actions for good by showing respect to other people. It's kind of like when you're driving down the street in a car. You have to follow the rules of the road, right? The rules keep you safe and they also help you respect other drivers.
Respect is such an exciting topic to learn about, and we can't wait to learn how we can show others that they are important to us by what we say and what we do. And to kick off our first week of respect, let's play a game. So as you know, we are riding with respect this month, so we need something to drive, don't we?
We sure do, Malia. For our game this morning, we are going to get you to create your vehicle that you will ride with respect. The catch is that it must be made out of household items and you will only have 1 minute to create it. So firstly, we'll give you 1 minute to get as many things around your house as you can, and this is a whole family event. So the more people playing, the more items you can get. All right, so we're going to send you off to start collecting, and only collecting, no building yet, in 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright team, have you collected all your items? Because now we're going to give you just 1 minute to create your Ride with Respect vehicle. And we want to see what you create. So make sure you snap a quick pic and post it on our Kidspace Facebook page. Alright everyone, you have 1 minute to create your awesome vehicle. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Just too quick. What a good challenge, Malia. Well, 1 minute was real hard, but I am sure glad that you have created a somewhat usable vehicle to ride with respect. And speaking of respect, how about we get stuck into this week's Bible story that will help us remind others how to show respect with what we say or do.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian. After 40 days in the wilderness, Jesus began to go from town to town, teaching and healing. Even though he's God's son, he didn't start out in the capital city of Jerusalem. He didn't go to the fine homes of the religious leaders. Instead, Jesus met with ordinary, everyday people on hillsides and by the lake shore. And he chose some of the most unlikely people to be his closest friends and followers. 4 of these men were uneducated fishermen: Peter, Andrew, James, and John. One morning after a long night of fishing, Peter and his friends had caught exactly 0 fish.
What a drag. Cleaning the nets without a single fish to show for it.
I may fall asleep right here.
This morning, the fishermen weren't alone on the beach. Jesus was standing on the lakeshore, and though it was early, a huge crowd had gathered. They were so eager to get close to Jesus that they jostled and shoved, backing him right up to the water. But instead of pushing back, Jesus simply stepped over into Peter's boat and said,
"Go out a little way from shore."
Now, if you're Peter, you're probably feeling a whole bunch of things. On the one hand, after fishing all night, you really want to get home and go to bed. But on the other hand, this unusual teacher has singled you out of the crowd to help him. I mean, you're used to people just ignoring you, or wrinkling their noses at the fishy smell you can't get out of your clothes. With all those things racing through his head, Peter did just what Jesus asked and guided the boat a little way out from shore. When Jesus was done speaking, he turned to Peter and said,
"Go out into deep water. Let down the nets so you can catch some fish."
Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything.
Now, even though Peter couldn't help protesting a little, he already respected Jesus' authority.
But because you say so, I will let down the nets.
Peter guided the boat out into deep water, and he and Andrew let down their nets, expecting more disappointment. Instead, whole schools of fish seemed to appear out of nowhere.
Oh, Andrew, pull harder.
The net is going to burst.
Peter called out to his fishing partners back on shore.
James, John, bring the boat.
It took everyone to reel in the nets. Both boats overflowed with floundering fish. Back on shore, Peter was so overwhelmed, he didn't give a single thought to that massive haul of fish. Instead, he threw himself down at Jesus' feet.
Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man.
Jesus smiled at the group of ragtag fishermen.
"Don't be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people."
The crowd must have been shocked to see Jesus choose these common fishermen as close friends and disciples. Right away, Peter, Andrew, James, and John hauled their boats up on shore. They didn't even stop to clean and sell all those fish. Jesus wasn't finished calling disciples. One day he stopped at a booth where a man named Matthew was collecting taxes. Okay, now, first thing you got to understand, no one talked to a tax collector unless they had to. These men were hired to collect taxes from their own people for the Roman government. They would charge extra to cover their own salaries. I mean, everybody hated them for it. But Jesus walked right up to Matthew.
"Come, follow me."
Everyone was shocked, including Matthew. But Matthew didn't hesitate. Something inside him just recognized that Jesus was special. He got up immediately to follow Jesus, and even invited Jesus to come to a dinner party at his house. At Matthew's home, Jesus shared a meal with tax collectors and others who were seen as outcasts. The religious leaders were shocked. They grumbled to Jesus' disciples.
Why do you eat and drink with tax collectors and sinners?
Jesus heard what they were saying.
Healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. I have not come to get those who think they are right with God to follow me. I have come to get sinners to turn away from their sins.
Jesus wasn't worried about collecting the right followers or popular friends. Instead, he included everyone. Jesus chose to spend his time with people who saw how much they needed him, instead of those, like the religious leaders, who thought they were too important to need help.
How amazing is that? Jesus made everyone feel loved. He chose to be friends with others who most people wouldn't talk to. He invited the most unexpected people to follow him and learn from him. Jesus treated people in a way that showed each person that they were made in God's image. Jesus showed that each person is so valuable, and that's something that we have the opportunity to do too.
Remember, include people who are left out. I know whenever I felt left out, it's meant a lot to me when someone reached out and included me. It's helped me to remember how I felt, because I should treat others the way that I want to be treated. And that's like what Jesus said in this month's memory verse. Luke 6 verse 31, do to others as you want them to do to you.
That is such an awesome memory verse for us to remember this month. And why don't we hear our family question for today? When have you felt left out? Because when you remember the feeling and discover how Jesus included others who were excluded, it should help us to include others. I'm really excited about the conversations that you're about to have with the people around you. Maybe mum, maybe dad, maybe a grandparent or a sibling. It may be a hard conversation to have. It's not easy to feel left out, but it is such a good way for us to learn how we can play a part in making sure we include others.
And when you are done having a conversation, you can head over to our Kidspace Facebook page to watch the latest episode of the So and So Show. And we will see you next week, team.